Hello, this is Tina with You Made That. And today I'm going to answer some questions because people have been asking me, okay, I got this paper pack. Now, what do I do with it? How do I turn it into cards? And I thought, you know what? I'm going to make a video about that. So, whether you have a 12 by 12 paper pack, this one's from Stampin' Up, or you have 6 by 6 paper pack, wherever you got it, let's talk about how we can turn these into cards. So this one's got kind of ripped there, but Lawn Fawn's paper packs are sometimes one-sided, while Doodlebugs are, I think, always two-sided. So that can make a difference with what you can do with them, or what you might want to do with them. For example, with a double-sided paper pack, you could do this kind of fold over card design. Just cut a piece from your paper pack and decide which side you want up. And then the other side will be like the complementary color that's folded over. So that's one idea. And then use your stamps or sentiment to kind of hold that fold down. Another idea is a Z-fold card. Now, you might say, how do I make that? It's actually really easy. You just take a regular side folding card base, and if you don't have a scoring tool, you can use some fun foam for a little cushion, or maybe a mouse pad, a ruler. And I have this tool. I know Dollar Tree sells these, and they're just scoring tools. This one's from Stampin' Up. But what you would do is open up your card. It already has this fold on it. All you need to do is make another fold or score line here so that it will be like this. So just measure what this is in half. So this is 4 1/4. So measure 2 1/8. Draw little guidelines for yourself. Just line up your ruler. Press, firm enough that you're going to get a score line, and then fold it up toward you, toward this fold, so that you have this. Then you can add your pattern paper to the side like this. It's just covering one side, but that's a great use of pattern paper just on the side of your Z-fold card. Let's look at some cards that some friends have made me. So this one, my friend Marcia made, and what a creative use of a corner rounder. She rounded these corners. Automatically makes it look different than other cards with just your basic square fold. So if you have a corner rounder, round those corners. She did like that. She also used some twine to make a little bow. So you could put pattern paper behind here, round those corners too, maybe solid paper or your sentiment. And then she just wrapped the twine around the purple and glued it all on, then added some bling. So that's a great use. This could be pattern paper, and a corner rounder to give it a unique look. This is a cute one. Oops, I've got two. Glenna sent me, and she used a gingham pattern paper here, stamped on this one, but it could have easily been another pattern paper here. I should hold that in the middle. Then she put ribbon behind her sentiment, and she just kind of zigzagged the ribbon. Some people make like a little nest with twine or ribbon or even embroidery floss, and just kind of stick the sentiment right on top of that, and that adds a little detail. Then she added these cute little flowers. But this would be a great use of two different pattern papers actually, if you wanted. This one is from, oh, this is cute, CJ. Okay, so this is the card opening right here. Okay, so she took patterned paper, glued it onto a solid color paper. So this is the base. Then she made a little card out of solid color blue, put patterned paper on, wrapped a ribbon around the inside of the flap, and it's kind of a little card on top of a card base. So super cute and great use of two patterned papers. And, you know, it could even be a blank card. If you didn't want to put this on top, you know, you could have, you know, just some bling or something on here, and on the inside you could write your own message. So that was really creative. This is another one from CJ, and what she did was kind of like with the Z fold I showed you earlier. She put a panel of patterned paper, stamped the woman's stamp onto the patterned paper, cut out the dress and hat from the same patterned paper, and put it on there. So it relates to the pattern paper here and looks great. Great and cohesive and creative use of pattern paper. Solid color cardstock works great too with pattern paper. So if you have something like this, you might want to offset it or mat it with a solid color that would go with it. This one is from Christina, and it's a top folding card. So she used a Christmas pattern paper, and I believe she stamped this deer, but it could also be pattern paper. She added gold flecks, so maybe she bought some gold acrylic paint or something and did the flecks with the paintbrush, and then added a little sentiment jolly. And you can buy these sentiment strips from Simon Says Stamp, or you can stamp your own sentiment, but really nice looking, and probably mass produced these, and it's great for that. Let me move this out of the way. This one's from Tammy, and she used two different pattern papers. So there's a little line here. So what she did was she took this one and cut it to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And maybe she die cut, or maybe she just used scissors and just kind of cut a little wavy line. She can use the other part of this for another card. Then she took this paper, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and cut it. So maybe she put them both on top of each other and cut them so they'd both be the same, but they butt up against each other, and she glued them on, put some leaf die cuts on, and popped up her sentiment that she stamped with some foam tape. But I love that use of the original little swooshy line here and the two different papers. I should ask her how she did it, but yeah, that's my guess, is maybe she put them on top of each other and just kind of cut them so that they would fit together. This is a great use of pattern papers. Okay, so Carrie took two different pattern papers. This one looks like it's embossed, so it's really not patterned. It's solid color, but embossed. But you could use two pattern paper. Then she divided them with a paper strip, just a solid paper strip. So that's a great use. This looks like she die cut out, but it could also be pattern paper if you wanted. But this is a great use of separating two different patterns with solid color cardstock strip. This is similar in that it breaks things up with a solid cardstock strip. Let's see who this is from. This is also from Carrie. So she took this pattern paper, put a white mat behind these yellow, behind these owl papers, which I don't think she stamped, but she might have, but they look great. So one pattern paper, another pattern paper with white matte, and then this one she stamped and added more color here to kind of matte it and brought in the blue again as kind of a dividing line. So that's really creative too. One thing I also want to mention is maybe you have more of these thin paper packs. This one's really thick. And what do you do with these? Well, some things that I've done with this is I have a Stampin' Up! Envelope punch board. This is We Are Memory Keepers. They sell these at Michael's and stuff too, so you don't have to get it from Stampin' Up! But this tells you how to make your own envelopes. And these papers are great for making envelopes. So I usually have the colored part on the inside of the envelope just so the mailman doesn't get mad. So I have the address on the white part. These are great for making your own envelopes. Also, I will use some of the bolder ones maybe, and just put a little stamp here and then use a Sharpie, a black Sharpie to write my message. Hey, how you doing? A little note, or here's some cookies or whatever. And then some of the patterns that are less bold, again, I just stamped a little guy here and I can write with a pen on this one. So I use them as little notes, little note cards too, and that works. You can even just cut them into squares and use the patterns by themselves to kind of create a little interest for your note. You know, have a great day, and there you go. So that's a great use because sometimes these can be a little thin for card making, and you might want a little something heavier. Like these are more substantial than these.
Thank you for watching. This is Tina, and I just took some inspiration from cards that friends sent me to maybe help you know how to use some pattern paper, and I hope that it helps. Thanks for watching. Bye.